Hey, brother, what song is this shit? Slap.
This is my song, bro. I ain't telling you. I
got the remote right here.
Bro, stop! It's my music, bro! It's my music!
Can I make a confession? I hate Kiss fans. And that's coming from a Kiss fan. Because it just seems like no matter what your opinion is on anything to do with Kiss, especially their albums, you're always quote-unquote wrong or you don't know what you're talking about, and it gets real annoying. Like, I get that there was people who have been around since Kiss's inception in the 70s, 80s, whatever, and I'm only 24, almost 25 years old, so apparently I don't know what I'm talking about because I wasn't around for those eras, so when I listen to the records now, it isn't the same as when they first came out, which, okay, I guess, but I can still listen to a record now and understand what was going on back then and be like, yeah, I like this record or I dislike this record. This was the second time that I ranked Kiss's albums from worst to best, all 20 of them, and it wasn't so much me trying to fix that last list the first time I did it, because I mentioned in the video the first time that I felt like it was still a little bit... like, I still wasn't getting back into my Kiss phase at that point, so I kind of lackadaisically just kind of listened to those records because I'm like, well, these are the ones that I hate, so I probably still hate them. Whereas when I did it the second time around, I gave them more of a definitive listen to really see if, like, maybe this has changed. Maybe I don't like this record as much as I did, or maybe I do like this record a little bit more than I used to, and maybe there's just ones that I plain out love that maybe just became mediocre to me. I don't know, opinions change over the years, and I even say in those videos, this is not a right or wrong list, it's my opinion, and I tell you guys or ask you guys if you would like to rank their albums from worst to best in the comments. Feel free, be my guest. Now, there are some pretty nice people when we talk about it, as David here on my video where I created the perfect Kiss record with no makeup. What did he do? Well, he just gave me the songs that he thinks would make the perfect record from the Kiss era with no makeup. He didn't argue, he didn't, you know, degrade my decisions or my song choices. He was just like, these are the songs in the order that I would put them in, and that was that. And then we also have Eugene here, who said, nice job, I would have substituted Good Girls Gone Bad for In My Head. Master and Slave is the best song on Carnival of Souls in my opinion. So he disagreed with me on one thing, but you know, he still didn't make a big deal out of it, acting like I didn't know what I was talking about here. As when we look at some of the others, let me see if I can find them. Robert did say that, I don't know what the initial rankings were, but I'd agree with most of these. I put Hotter Than Hell higher than Rock and Roll Over, slightly higher. Now, there's nothing bad about Robert's comment. He's just saying that this is my personal preference, here's what I would do, and Mia does say they're both 10 times better than Carnival of Souls. Rock and Roll Over should be top 5. In fact, they both should be, and so is Creatures. That's what you think, Mia. I don't know why everybody freaks out, Kiss fans, when I say that Carnival of Souls to me is one of my top 5 favorite Kiss records. Again, we all have different preferences, and this one's a little bit newer, so I don't know, it just feels more raw and different to me than other Kiss records. Like, they had never attempted anything like that before, and the fact that it's like one of these records that kind of gets lost in time because it was originally just supposed to be scrapped after the reunion tour took place, but they released it anyway because it was getting leaked. I kind of like records like that, because then you find hidden gems, and then it sounds like you're listening to something different other than, oh yeah, this is Kiss, the, you know, band that's big, they sell out shows all the time. It was really nice to hear something fresh, new, and different, other than the same, like, songs about, oh, I love you, girl, this, that, and the other, I want to have sex with you, or, you know, just the kind of, you know, uplifting stuff. It was good to hear them, whether you think it was, you know, phony or not, talk about some pretty serious topics in one way or another. So, yeah, I mean, most people wouldn't put Carnival of Souls in their top 5, but when you look where I'm coming from, I grew up in a different generation of Kiss. I've only been alive for 3 Kiss record releases. Psycho Circus in 1998, however, I was just a wee lad when that came out, so obviously I don't necessarily remember the release because I probably was only alive for a couple months at that point, but I was around for it when it first came out, and then of course the other two, Sonic Boom and Monster, which Sonic Boom came out when I was 11, and Monster came out, I want to say either my 8th grade year or my freshman year of high school, and those were the Kiss records that, you know, I pretty much, you know, again, grew up with. I didn't grow up with the other stuff before that, but that doesn't mean that I can't say anything about the other records, and the only Kiss records I can talk about are Psycho Circus, Sonic Boom, and Monster. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Charles says this guy truly has balls on his chin. Yes, I get it. I got a ball chin. I mean, just one of the reasons I have a beard most likely is to hide my ball chin. No, I'm not embarrassed by it. I like having the beard. But yes, I have a ball chin. Congratulations with an insult that an 8-year-old would come up with. And then going back to Mia, they posted a comment of their own that says, "You'll need to re-rank these again, it seems. Carnival of Souls, which is very, very average, and probably their worst album in front of stone cold classics like Rock and Roll Over, Creatures, Hotter Than Hell, Lick It Up, and I can go on, is very bizarre. Even Asylum is way better than Carnival of Souls. No universe exists where Carnival of Souls is ranked that high, at least for me and probably 99% of the world's population. You call Rock and Roll Over overrated, but then you rank Carnival of Souls top 5, ha ha ha." And then he says, 1, Rock and Roll Over, 2, Creatures of the Night, worst carnival of shit. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and bash you because you don't like Carnival of Souls. That's your opinion. Just like me liking Carnival of Souls and calling it a top 5 Kiss record is my opinion. Now, it is funny because, like, days after I read this comment, there was a guy named Mr. Time Bomb Man who basically told the person who wanted me to re-rank the albums for a 3rd time. Mr. Time Bomb Man said that I don't need to, because it's subjective and it's my opinion, which is the point that I was trying to get out through the whole video. So again, I'm still showing you that there is people who are nice and comment, you know, without being insulting when it comes to Kiss videos, but it's very rare, at least from what I see on my channel. It's almost like Kiss fans are allergic to the fact that other people can like different records from theirs. Like, sometimes people be like, how do you like the newer albums better than the older albums? Like, it just seems like there's a certain rule that Kiss fans put in place. It's like unwritten to like Carnival of Souls over ones that they deem classics like Rock and Roll Over and others like that. So, Mr. Time Bomb Man, thank you. He also made a post where he disagreed with me, but again, he wasn't insulting about it. So it's like, see, we can all be friendly in these situations. Do I like it better than Rock and Roll Over, Hotter Than Hell, Lick It Up, and Creatures of the Night? Yeah, and I explained why. Hotter Than Hell has a shitty production. Rock and Roll Over, although it was probably, you know, what people would say was their best record they released in 1976, it's definitely Kiss going back to what they had done on their first 3 records before Destroyer, but I don't know, there's just not a lot of classics on there for me to like, at least, again, in my opinion. And with Creatures, it's nice, it's fun, but it definitely has some flaws there. And Lick It Up, I explained when I ranked those albums, Lick It Up is a good record. It's probably either their best or second best record without the makeup, but it's very top heavy as a record. Once you start getting toward the middle and the bottom of the record, it's very, very hit or miss, and I feel like if it wasn't so top heavy, we could be talking about something really, really good. And they even said Asylum is way better. Asylum has grown on me a lot. I used to not really like this record, but when you go and listen to the 3 singles and the other stuff that's on it, it's definitely a very good hair metal record. But again, I don't necessarily like to think of it as a Kiss record, because Kiss to me never really screamed hair metal, even after they took their makeup off. And I know on albums like Lick It Up and Animalize, they definitely were going more toward that hair metal, you know, kind of venture, but it was still heavy enough to where you can call it like a sort of heavy metal, whereas Asylum just felt like a carbon copy of what all the other bands or rock bands in the 80s were doing at that point in time. And that's people's main complaint with Carnival of Souls, was they were just trying to copy off the grunge record. Kiss has done that so many times. They did it with disco, they did it with hair metal, you know, they did it with grunge. So I don't know why it's so much of a surprise to people that Carnival of Souls was them trying a trend that had been popular before that they wanted to do. It's just how it's been for them for years. So basically, why am I making this video? Because Kiss fans, you need to know this, and you need to know this good. Stop gatekeeping Kiss by by telling me and others that our opinions are wrong, we don't know what we're talking about. It gets really, really annoying in places, and I feel like you're part of the reason that people don't take rock music as seriously as they do anymore, especially when you talk about, you know, trying to get kids into rock and they want to go back and visit the old stuff and all this. It becomes very hesitant because you get people like this who are like, I've been a fan since blah blah blah, or since their inception, and you know, you're wrong, and you shouldn't even like this band because you're too young, and all that stuff. I've gotten that before. And when you start gatekeeping a band, it's like Metallica. I think the only reason Metallica's hated so much is because they're so popular, and because they have people that won't let, like, this younger audience into the scene. You know, it's like when Stranger Things, they had the scene where one of the kids, I don't know the names of the characters, I don't watch the show, you know, he played Master of Puppets, and then all of a sudden people were listening to Master of Puppets again, a song that came out in 1986, and there was everybody that was like, I don't know why people are getting into Metallica now, I've been in love with that song since 1986 when it first came out. And it's like, okay, yeah, but one, okay, so you were alive in 1986 and you were able to listen to it when it first came out, and yes, these are Gen Z kids who, you know, have probably heard of Metallica, but were never like, yeah, I want to check out their music, and then they heard Master of Puppets in Stranger Things, a show that they love, and said, this sounds really good, I'm going to check it out, and I might check out more of Metallica's catalog. And I applaud Metallica themselves, because they came after the gatekeepers and said, look, we don't care how people find Metallica. If they find us now from a show, and, you know, they continue listening to our music after that, that's fine, that's good. You always have to find different ways to grow your audience. Gatekeeping just makes it worse on the bands, because it's, you know, it's basically telling people like, only we can be fans because we've been here. You're too young to understand. And that's what I get all the time with Kiss. Again, yes, I'm 24, gonna be going on 25, and I wasn't around for, you know, most of the Kiss eras and their records and whatever, but that doesn't mean I can't listen to the albums, give my honest opinion, and have a differing opinion from everybody else. Again, when I made those videos, I stated, it's my opinion, this is what I think. I am neither right nor wrong, and when people post their list, they are neither right nor wrong either. It is their opinion, and I don't shit on them for it. Therefore, I don't know why you need to shit on me when you don't agree with my list. Just watch the video and say, oh, okay, I don't agree, and think about why I like another album more than others that you would deem classics or vice versa. It's really, really annoying, and I'm just starting to think to myself, this is why I kind of grew out of Kiss for the longest time, because I was feeling so shunned all the time because of people like this, and now that I'm back into it, I'm like, I'm not gonna let that happen again. You know, I loved Kiss, I still love Kiss now, and I'm glad that I'm back on my Kiss bullshit, because, you know, I feel like I left a band that without them, I don't know really where I would be music-wise. I mean, I know I got American Idiot, the logo from the album tattooed on my wrist and all, and I deem that to be my favorite record, because that was the record that helped me expand my music outside of Kiss and all that kind of stuff. It really made me explore it more, whereas Kiss just got me into music in general, and they were the first band that I truly got into, and it was just like to truly just completely leave the fandom, it felt a little weird. And now that I've gotten back into it, I go, this is why I did. And now I'm just like, but you know, I'm not gonna let those people get to me anymore. So at this point, say what you want to say, but just know,
we don't care.
I'm talking about when people insult me or, you know, bring back some shitty response to my opinion. I really don't care, and at this point, I'm just not going to even pay full attention to it, because I don't need to. There's other people on here, like I mentioned, that were very nice and very upfront and said, you know, I don't agree, but this is what I would put in particular, and they did it without being insulting. Oh my god, you can disagree with somebody without being insulting? Yeah, it's been a thing. When you disagree with someone and insult them, that just means you're an asshole. You're not getting your point across. So that's why I made this video, and that's really all I have to say on it. I will continue making Kiss content because I want to, and I will continue listening to their music and enjoying what I enjoy from them because I can. Other than that, thank you to everybody else who was so polite throughout those videos and, you know, just watched the video, and even if they had differing opinions from me, either didn't comment or we're just very, very friendly about it, as you should be with something as opinionative as music. I feel like, you know, we're so used to trashing people for their political beliefs and all this stuff that all that kind of interaction has slowly gone into the music territory and the movies. Like, you like this music? You like this movie? Like, oh my god, it's so, like, you can't like anything nowadays without somebody freaking out about it, and that's just, it's so toxic. It really, really is. But yeah, that's it for me. Stay safe out there, and until then, I will catch you all in the next one.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.